it's so easy for us to listen to those lies of the puppy brain, to not see ourselves as good enough. I was so crippled by those lies of the puppy brain, I couldn't open a door because I was afraid I was going to be so ridiculed and mocked when I walked in there to see friends. That's how powerful that is. I had the opportunity to, twice a week, spend time in the county jail. And I teach anger management to the guys in jail. And to say the least, it has been an education. To get this opportunity to bump up right against people who have experienced life in a way that I haven't. And as the weeks unfold, and as we spend time with the guys, and as we get to this place of trust, and you start to hear the stories of how and why they found these spots where they start making really bad choices, which they're now paying their debt for. Over and over again, we keep working our way back to these lies that they keep telling themselves. This position that we work from. For me, suffering exists in my life because I perceive myself differently than God sees me. And that's a little bit of a big sentence, so let's break it apart. I perceive myself differently than God sees me. Perceive implies not seeing myself accurately. Seeing accurately. I'll give you an example. I feel overwhelmed because I don't have enough time to get done what I need to do today. God sees me as eternal. He sees this eternal soul and sees it outside of all of that stuff. I feel like I'm not good enough, I'm not capable enough. God sees me as a prince in the kingdom because that's the way I've been made. As we step into this place this weekend, as we explore this fact that we're under construction, the biggest obstacle we face in being able to do that is being able to see ourselves the way that God sees us. In my mind, it is impossible for me to fully receive a gift that I don't think I'm worthy of. And this has happened. You know, people sometimes will give us stuff and it feels like it's a gift that's way too big, or it's a gift that needs to be given to someone else, and therefore we don't embrace it. God's love is no different. If you don't think that you are worthy of God's love, it's going to be impossible for you to fully embrace it. And you'll notice I use the word worthy there, not the word deserve. In my mind, deserve is something I earn. I worked really hard today, therefore I deserve to be paid. I worked really hard on this test, therefore I deserve to get an A. Worthy is the way I was made. God made me worthy of His love because that's the way He made me. And in my mind, the way I see this is I almost imagine myself in this little ball of God's love that's just floating there, and I'm in the middle of it, completely immersed inside of it. But just because I'm immersed in it doesn't mean that I'm receiving it. Right now, I want you to try this. Please don't hurt yourself and don't mash your glasses onto your face. I want you to take the palms of your hands, and I want you to take them, and I want you to put them completely around the rings of your eyes and your eye sockets. Don't hurt your eyes, don't crush your glasses, don't do anything painful. At this moment, if you do that right, you can completely block out every single bit of light that's in this room, and it feels like it's completely dark. But there's still light in this room. What you've done is you've chosen to completely block it out. You can uncover your eyes. That's how God's love is. God's love is ever present. And what I do in my life is I do this. And I choose not to accept it, and I choose not to receive it. But it's there. It's always there, it's ever present. One of the things I really love about Dante's Inferno is all of the people who were in hell in Dante's Inferno could leave at any moment. They haven't been banished there, they're choosing to stay there because they're refusing to see God and God's love. They continue to see my way's best, even as they're tortured for all of eternity, my way's best. That for us to step into that place and to be ignited by our faith, the place we have to start is the recognition that we're worthy of God's love. And that doesn't mean that we're perfect. And that doesn't mean that we do it perfect every single time. But it means that we're worthy. Not because of anything we've done, but because of the way we are made. We say this and we hear this all the time when we go on retreats and church stuff. God loves you, God loves you, God loves you. And it almost feels like this echo of this thing that isn't real. But the little story the skit guys did there, the prodigal son, we've heard that story over and over again. And I love it when they give voice to the father. This guy who every single night sits on the edge of his property, just staring way off into the distance, hoping his son's going to show up. Day after day after day after day, desperately longing to show up. And that's what God's love is for you. It's really interesting. We hear that story. Literally what the son did is he walked up to the father and said, you know, Dad, when you die, I get half your stuff. Give it to me now. And the father sold off half of everything they had. Think about that. Going up to your parent right now and saying, I want my inheritance now. What I want you to do is I want you to sell off this half of the house, and I want you to sell it so I can have it because it's going to be mine. And the father still every day sat at the edge of the property longing for his son to come home. It's so awesome that we take time out to carve, to be in this space, to be open to that fact. But we need to choose it. One of the tools that I use with the guys I work with in jail, we do some stuff where they have to examine the things they've done wrong, and they have to go through some phrases. And one of the phrases that we use all the time is, even though I, and then they fill in the blank, even though I have made lots of really bad choices, even though I let my drug addiction get